Armstead on the right, and she's got half a bike advantage over Boss. And the crowds have turned out in their thousands. Look at the sheer power. Boss has gone to the front, and nobody can match the electric pace.
Hello and welcome to Marlow, where the beginning of the end is about to start. And if that doesn't sound too back to front, how about this? The very first race leader is, after several twists and turns, also today's race leader. In other words, Lisa Brennauer has just over 102 kilometres to survive, with pretty much the whole of the rest of the race against her. What a week it's been. Who'd have guessed when the race rolled out from Bury St Edmunds that the outcome would be in the balance all the way until the finishing line some 5 days later? Stage 1 saw the break caught in the final kilometre and a blistering sprint ending with Lizzie Armstead crashing in and then straight out of the race.
And on the left it is Johansson of Orica AIS, but coming up to the line, oh, Armstead takes it on the line, fantastic. Oh, there's a crash there as well. She seemed to lose her line and she collided with one of the photographers.
With the race leader battered and bruised but mercifully unharmed, although she couldn't start the next day, it was all about Lisa Brennauer and her sudden elevation to the race lead. But with another breakaway caught within the final few kilometres, Clacton played host to another bunch sprint, this time once again with the race lead at stake.
And now look on the left of our screen, we've got the big challenge of Bremur, but she's been overtaken right in the middle by Jolien D'Or, and Jolien D'Or gets it, the Belgian road champion. It was tight, but she nailed the victory.
So Brennauer suddenly found that Jolien D'Or was breathing down her neck, just a solitary second separating the top two. The Wiggle Honda rider was on the front foot along the road from Oundle, nudging ahead of Brennauer on the road, picking up 2 bonus seconds. But the decisive move came from Bull Stolman's Cristina Magieras on a difficult finish into Kettering.
And Magieras has launched the move for the victory. Guarici, the Italian, is chasing her down in second place, but this is going to be a stage victory then for Magieras, the Luxembourg champion. She takes the stage win.
After that, what should have been a straightforward day proved anything but. A war of the big guns raged all day until 2 got away with 30 kilometres left to run. The bunch was in pursuit, but Elisa Longo-Borghini and Sabrina Stultians had other ideas. They took off in the rain and almost held out all the way to the line.
But now they're all back together, ready for the final run to the line, and this is looking very much like Lisa Brennauer. Brennauer, then the German, gathering herself to try and get the stage victory. She's wearing the Chain Reaction Points jersey in the middle of our shot. Yes, on the line, it's Brennauer that takes it from Johansson.
This is how it all stacks up though, with just 1 stage remaining. Lisa Brennauer regains the race lead by a significant 9 seconds. Cristina Magieras, only 4th on the stage, drops to 2nd, with Jolien D'Or and Emma Johansson just 1 and 2 seconds respectively behind her. Hannah Barnes is the best British rider, and after that there are a total of 9 riders at 28 seconds and almost certainly out of contention. In the Strava Queen of the Mountains competition, Melissa Hoskins still holds the jersey, but now by only 2 points to Elise Delzenne. So there we are, that's how things stand in the Aviva Women's Tour, and that's our little look back at 4 fantastic days of racing. But Mariana, for my money, I thought yesterday's race was exceptional. It seemed to have everything, and it was such a dramatic ending as well.
It was very, very interesting. It was such an exciting race with a break of 2 up the road and then the catch only in the last 200 meters. So yeah, it has been fantastic racing.
Now, often with women's racing, you don't see a breakaway, or the teams just don't allow riders to get up the road. But we've had that almost every day on this race, and it's made for such interesting racing. Why is it different? Why is that happening?
Well, it's such an open race. You have so many potential winners that different teams have to take the control and want to take the control for the stage win and for the GC.
So there are enough teams, in other words, interested enough every day and strong enough to bring back a move so they can allow that to happen. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
and then it's easier to have a breakaway and control that one than to chase and to be in the breakaways all day. So they let the group go and then bring it back in the final. Okay, it could be different today. It's the final day, and the nerves will be there, and nobody's going to want anything dangerous to get up the road. So possibly it all stays together today, do you think? Well, I think so. It's going to be exciting because it's a short stage. It's only just over 100k, but everything is still open. All classifications can change today. Yeah, think it will be a close race today, and there will be many attacks, but the final 10-20 kilometers will be decisive.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa Brennauer is in the yellow jersey, but we think she's one of 4 riders who could win the overall race by the end of today.
We have Lisa Brennauer, currently in the yellow jersey, and she has a strong team with Velocio Schramm. And for her, it's going to be very important to stay in front and be there in the final, because she's only a 9-second lead on Christine Majerus. It's going to be very, very tight today.
If a breakaway goes, a dangerous breakaway like we had yesterday with Elisa Longo-Borghini, for example, that's a rider, she can really do that, and she can maintain her gap, and she can ride it to the finish. So that's things you have to keep in mind, that it's not only about the first 4 or 5 that are my biggest threat and biggest competition, but it's also there are a lot more riders that if they make it into a break, and if this break comes to the finish, they can still win the race.
In second place in the overall classification at 9 seconds from Puls Dolmans, the Luxembourg national champion Christina Majerus. Now, she wasn't originally the team leader, but that all changed when Lizzie Armitstead crashed on stage 1. She's worn the yellow jersey on this race though, and she's going to want it back again.
Yesterday we had to defend the jersey, so yeah, now we are back in the attacking team version, and that's the thing. I think it's going to suit us a little better. I hope if I'm not able to get the jersey back, which obviously is still the goal, that I can keep the podium. But yeah, I'm just doing everything I can to move up again too fast.
We have Jolien Dore from Wiggle Honda, and she's a very strong sprinter, and for today's stage it's going to be difficult. She's on 10 seconds and she needs to hang in to get there for the final and get the seconds that she needs for the general classification.
Yeah, today we can win everything or we can lose everything, so it's very important today. It's a very hard day and tough day, so I will try to survive the climbs because I'm not really a climber, but it's a tough race, and we will see how I will do today.
And in 4th place at 11 seconds, a Swedish national champion, Emma Johansson. She's been there or thereabouts on every stage so far on the Women's Tour, but she might well have earmarked stage 5 as the day to make her move.
I think you just need to stay focused the whole week, and I've been taking it day by day, and obviously today what it looks like is the day that suits me really well, and yeah, I miss consistent, so I hope that today is not going to be an exception. So I really hope, I hope today is going to be my day.
So there's a look at our 4 main contenders, but what have they got to contend with out on the road today? An interesting feature is where the Queen of the Mountains are positioned and the sprints. They've kind of grouped them together again, haven't they?
Yeah, the first one, first climb and the sprint are close to each other, halfway race, and then we have a combination of a Queen of the Mountain, and 4 kilometers later it's a sprint, and that's in the final.
And that, I think, that second Queen of the Mountains might be where the race is decided, although there are also 10 seconds at the line. But if they want to get rid of Lisa Brennauer, that might be where it happens. Yeah,
I think that that will be a key moment for today's stage. And of course there are still a lot of teams without a win here, so they want to go for the stage win as well. And then you have 3-4 teams that want to go for the general classification. So we're gonna have a race in a race today. Yeah,
and it's worth mentioning as well that the Queen of the Mountains competition is very aggressive today, because Orica AIS have a rider in the polka dot jersey in Melissa Hoskins, but Elise Delzen is breathing right down her neck. Just 2 points separate those two, so that might have an influence on how the race is played as well. Yeah,
that's another race in the race. So we're gonna have to watch different riders all day today, and for teams it's also difficult to make the decision where do they want to go for. Do they want to go for general? Do they want to go for another classification? I'm looking forward to the stage.
Yeah, it's really fascinating stuff, and just these kind of discussions will be happening just over there where the teams are getting ready to race. Let's have a look at the stage in a bit more detail. It all ends in Hemel Hempstead, but the 102.6 kilometre route from Marlow is far from straightforward. The official climbs at Criers Hill and the infamous Toms Hill Road are just 2 of at least half a dozen testing ramps on this hilly course. 2 sprints at Prestwood and Little Gaddeston, leaving 6 bonus seconds up for grabs out on the road. The River Thames made Marlow what it is today. It developed as a river crossing, and its greatest landmark is still the 19th century suspension bridge, designed by William Tierney Clark. It's a great place to mess about on the river as well as cross it, with the Marlow Town Regatta and Festival providing 2 days of rowing, music, food and dragon boating. From Marlow, the stage heads through the rolling countryside of the Chiltern Hills before the final charge to the finish line in Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire. The town has existed as a settlement since the 8th century, but was granted its town charter by King Henry VIII in 1539. Modern-day Hemel has a huge variety of entertainment and leisure facilities, including the UK's largest indoor ski slope. All right, that set the scene for you, but as you can see, the riders are pretty much ready to go. So let's waste no more time in getting over to the race commentary with Hugh Porter and Jose Baena.
It's the longest day in the year, and facing the 84 survivors is the shortest stage. But don't be fooled by that, as this is going to be the hardest as the riders navigate their way through the Chilterns. What a challenge. The day of selection has finally arrived.
And that's a great thing about this FIFA Women's Tour. We have left the decision in the race and many of the classifications to the last day.
Lisa Brennauer in the yellow jersey, 9 seconds ahead of Christine Mazuras and 10 ahead of Jolien Dora. And in the Queen of the Mountains, Melissa Hoskins, the Australian on Orica AIS, is just 2 points ahead of the French woman Elise Delzenne. And then in the chain reaction points competition, Brennauer leads Johansson by 9 points. It's all to play for.
Exactly. Hannah Barnes is the best British rider and also the best young rider in this race.
So they're rolling out here of Marlow, this glorious part of the world, and then they're going to head into the Chilterns. And believe me, the roads here are unforgiving.
We only have 2 categorised climbs, but the roads are not a metre of flat surface today.
And a raft of national champions at the front as well, Laura Trott, and right at the side of her is Helen Wyman in the Matrix Fitness Cycling blue jersey. We've also got the American national champion, the Danish national champion, the German national champion, and the winner of the Combativity Award at the back here at the moment, Elisa Longo-Borghini.
Yeah, discussing probably the Italian national championships next week in Torino, and she's the prime candidate for that.
See the support on the side there for Hannah Barnes. She actually comes from Towcester in Northamptonshire, but obviously she's well known all around these areas, and she's ridden fantastic so far in the Tour. And if it comes down to a gallop at the end, you can't discount Barnes.
Well, Hannah's been riding a lot in the north of America, in the USA, doing a lot of crit-style races, and we don't get to see that very much. But these are very hard races, and it has given her a lot of power.
That was the race director, and that's Guy Elliott. He still hasn't pulled in the red and white checkered flag, which tells us the neutralised zone has finished, and I think all the riders are hoping he's not going to do that.
Of course, this is a bright day, this is a nice day, and everybody's in for a little bit of a fight down on the road here.
Well, they're all happy at the moment, but believe me, once that flag has been pulled into the car and the pressure is applied ahead of them on today's leg, 102 kilometres, and now we are just about coming up to kilometre 0. There it is, the final stage is about to begin.
I'm really looking forward to this. With all these hills, all these climbs, and everything still to play for, this is going to be a big battle.
And you can see already the pressure now being applied as the field are starting to use the road well. And on the attack, we've got a rider from Bigla here. This is Emile Aubry, and she's got company. And the rider is from Ela Cipollini, and that's Sousa.
Yeah, Katie Archibald for the Polysimi sports team tried to do a little attack there, but she went back into the saddle. So we've got 2 leaders, a Swiss and a Brazilian. That's how international this women's tour is.
And as the race is so finely balanced, I mean, here, these 2, for instance, Sousa from Brazil is 59 seconds back on the yellow jersey, and Aubry is 1 minute and 36 seconds. So they may actually be allowed some freedom. And if that's the case, that could take the heat out of the big players. We'll be back. Well, we've already completed an hour of racing on this final leg of the thrilling tour, and Fernanda Sousa is still clear with Emily Aubry.
Yeah, she's got number 13, and not upside down, because riders usually have the superstition to turn the bib number upside down, but the Brazilian did not.
Two more coming across to join them, Anushka Costa from Rabo Liv and Gracie Elvin. So a useful quartet now at the sharp end of the contest.
Yeah, some very young riders. Anushka Costa is only 21, the Brazilian is 30, so it's a strong breakaway, and they don't have the really big names in them, so it's going to be interesting if the peloton gives them a little bit of a gap here.
And of course, let's speculate a little bit about this first climb as well. The two key players, Hoskins and Delzenne, they can only just pick up the 2 points that are still available, 2 and 1. There it is, 38 seconds the advantage.
Well, Delzenne and Hoskins are very close together, like they've been for the past days. They're glued to each other's wheel, so if one of them is going for points, the other one will as well. But for the moment, they're in the peloton, not really pushing on.
It's going to be interesting to see how much teamwork is played out on this climb, because Orica AIS will be looking after Hoskins as we've now started the climb. It's a long climb, this one.
It's a long climb, it's a nice wide road, but the gradients are kind of serious, 7-8%, especially if we come to the end of it.
Well, the peloton at the moment, not too concerned about the group that has broken clear. And as we look at the four, there's not too much urgency here there either. They're just tapping very gently.
Well, it seems like they're easily spinning around, but it's very tough here, especially after 4 days of pretty intense racing.
There'll be a lot of fatigue lying in the legs, believe me.
But there's still a lot to play for, so there will be a battle. But on this hill, it seems like they are not really pressing the matter, because when you've got 4 riders up front, apparently picking up the points, it's safe, especially for Hoskins, who's 2 points clear of Delzenne.
Yeah, there's Fernandez Sousa, just dancing on the pedals gently. But the competition, really, the interesting section of the competition is going to be all about the head of the peloton when those two pitch up to try and get the points. In actual fact, the two leaders in the Queen of the Mountains are so far ahead of anybody else. There's only those two can actually alter the situation, because the third place, Sharon Laws, on 15, is way behind.
Yeah, 12 points up for grabs today, and Laws is 14 points behind Delzenne. So the battle will be between Hoskins and Delzenne. But for the moment, 4 leaders, with Gracie Elvin in 4th place. She won her first European race only last week in Belgium, a classic named Gooik, Gerardsbergen Gooik, and that's the West Flanders with all the cobbles and all the climbs. So she's on good form at the moment.
I'm glad you said that.
Well, Dutch is a beautiful language, Hugh.
I agree. I think it's probably a little easier for me to say the winner of the previous stage in the Aviva Tour, but there we go. Now that's Claudia Lichtenberg on the left. Now she is a super rider, former winner of the Giro and the Tour de l'Aude.
Yeah, she's a very good stage racer, which means that she can keep this level for quite some time. She's been injured for a while, but she's back now, preparing for the Giro Rosa, which starts next month. Also, Carly Taylor has her eyes set on that race, as is Emma Johansson.
Yeah, Emma Johansson is right there, and so is the yellow jersey. All the key players are all over each other like a rash, but the front 4 are slowing up here.
This looks rather painful at the moment. They are not going very fast, and Emma Johansson thinks they're not going fast enough and is trying to do a little bit of an attack, but Lisa Brennauer is there, as is Christina Majerus.
Well, that's another good move, really, for Hoskins, because now trying to get across to this group is Johansson, and they're filling all the places up and taking all the points.
I think the best tactic after these 4 stages where Hoskins and Delzenne really battle it out is to have somebody else take the points and keep the classification as it is.
Well, there is the summit. You can see the markers ahead, and a massive crowd has turned out to greet the riders here in the Aviva Tour. But Johansson is stretching the rest out, and he's beginning to fragment a little bit. I think the leaders will just about get over the line ahead, but it is going to be close. Here we go. They're coming up to the line now, and it's Fernandez Sousa that dances over first. Yes, she gets the maximum points, and in second place was Aubry. But just ahead of the peloton, we want to see what's happening here. Yep, there we are, just behind Emma Johansson and Longo Bugini were at the head of the group, but the Queen of the Mountains, she is distanced.
Well, one more climb to go, 30 kilometers from here. That's where the decision will be in that classification.
Well, there's the result. So what it means in the overall standings in that competition, it's exactly the same as when we left Marlow. Well, we've now got two distinct groups, and we are nearing the first sprint of the day at Prestwood.
Well, that's the damage the climb did. We saw that Jolien Dore was in a little bit of trouble, but also the yellow jersey, Lisa Brennauer, was in a second group, but she's now back at the front again.
In fact, Mejiras and Brennauer are both up here in this group, and remember, as I said, 3, 2 and 1 seconds on the line, and they've started the day. Mejiras 9 seconds back off yellow, and Dora 10 back, but Brennauer is there, and she is very vigilant. You can see about 4 back in the wheels in the yellow jersey.
Trixie Worak, the German road captain for Velocio SRAM, is working for her team captain Lisa Brennauer. She's a very experienced rider, now taking the lead here in this group together with Delzende.
Well, they're looking for teammates to lead them out here. Velocio SRAM are trying to lead out Brennauer, and Maduras is also up there, the champion of Luxembourg. You can see her on the extreme left. This is going to be some sprint, and remember, it's all about the bonuses. And it's so important, because if you can nibble away at the advantage of the yellow jersey before you get to the finish, it's 10 seconds for the stage victory.
Well, the difference is rather big. 9 seconds, it sounds quite weird that it's a big gap, but it's a big gap at the moment. But yeah, let's see if she can claw back a little bit of those points, Majerus or Brennauer.
Committing themselves now and looking down the battle for the line here, and it's looking like Majerus, the champion of Luxembourg's over first. 3 seconds to her, Brennauer second, and Leah Kirchmann, the Canadian on the Optum team, was third, and she gets the 1 second. So all that effort means that the Luxembourg champion has only taken back 1 second on the yellow jersey. Still a long way to go. This is our lone leader, Claudia Lichtenberg, and she escaped just after the sprint at Prestwood, and she's building up a nice lead, but the peloton are just tapping it out at the front as they're getting closer to the final categorized climb of the race at Toms Hill Road. Getting good support from the crowd on the side of the road, and she's found a very good rhythm here, and she's a talented bike rider. Right at the head of the peloton is the Dutch champion Iris Slapendal from Bigler Pro Cycling, and there we are, they've just been given a time check, so the Germany's going well.
Yeah, she is going well. She's got a serious list of races that she's won in her career. She is a fantastic staged racer, winning big races like the Giro Rosa, Tour de l'Aude, Route de France, and also the Bira in the Basque Country, which means that she's got good endurance, and she is a very good climber.
A lot of riders would be very happy to just have one of those performances in their Palmares, but she's just getting some information there from the team car. Now, what we're going to really concentrate here on this concluding ascent, as the peloton have now started it, where are the two key players? That's Melissa Hoskins and Elise Delzenne. Hoskins still holds that 2-point advantage because neither of them actually figured in the first climb.
Yeah, this Strava Queen of the Mountains classification has proved a nice battle between Hoskins and Delzenne. So who's going to pick up the 5 remaining points here, because Lichtenberg has got the 6.
Well, Emma Johansson is now turning the pace up at the front, and remember, she is a teammate then of Hoskins, so that is a good tactical ploy. Stretch the field out, and what's happened, that has actually caused a little fracture, and there's a group going clear.
Well, the last one in that group is Hannah Barnes in the jersey for Best British Rider. She's been really improving on her climbing, and she is the last one in this group. But Elise Delzenne with Melissa Hoskins on her wheel are returning to that group now.
But look at Johansson, this talented Swedish bike rider who got a silver in the Olympics in Beijing. She's also been a silver medal winner in the World Championship. So the crowd have turned out to support the riders on this concluding stage of the Aviva Tour. But Johansson looks very impressive as the German now approaches the line to pick up the 6 points. And if Johansson maintains that second position, she had distanced herself from the peloton, then that will look after the first 2 places of 6 and 5. But we've got to speculate on the arrival of Delzenne and Hoskins.
Yeah, this is Emma Johansson, and we're only 20k out from the finish at this moment, so the final is in full swing.
And she, again, being a small rider, develops a lovely pedalling style on the climb. But what a contrast it is to those at the back. Just look how laboured these riders are.
Yeah, they're really struggling here at the back. Talita de Jong, for example, she only won a race last week, but she has been struggling in this women's tour all week.
Look at this on the side of the road. Barnes, she's got so much support all around here. And you can hear them shouting for her in certain parts of the climb. It was resonating around this lovely wooded area. But Johansson now has got company. Longo Borghini has bridged up to her, and she crossed the line third. The American champion Gournier was just behind her in fourth position. Now then, we wait to confirm the 2 places behind to see whether it was Hoskins or Delzen.
Yeah, but mathematically there's only 2 and 1 point up for grabs, so Delzen cannot overtake Hoskins if Hoskins takes points.
And she does. In fact, look at that, she's got 1 point, so that means that the Strava Queen of the Mountains has been decided, and the winner this year is the Australian Melissa Hoskins, riding on the Orica AIS team.
Well, we've got that battle down, and what a wonderful battle that has been. Now it's the battle for the GC. And
it's all about this lone leader, and that is Lichtenberg. She started the stage 35th at 46 seconds back from the Jersey. The 29-year-old going very well.
You see that there's a split in the peloton. This is a first group, and there's a little bit of room between them and a chasing group.
1 or 2 dangerous riders here, and there's an attack on the left from the Wiggle Honda rider.
Yeah, that's Audrey Cordon, the French rider, very strong, very instrumental to the victories that this team gets this year as well.
So Cordon now trying to go away right at the top of this stage. We said this was going to be the day of selection, and it has been absolutely encrusted with compelling changes of tactics as each move has reshaped the contest. But this is still the lone leader and pedalling smoothly, but she could have company because Cordon of Wiggle Honda is getting nearer to her.
Yeah, this lovely French rider is new to the team, coming from High Tech last year. She's been instrumental in Jolien Dore's victory in the Ronde van Drenthe, also to Elisa Longo Borghini's victory in the Tour of Flanders. Very important teammate, great worker.
And of course, she is riding on a strong team for Wiggle Honda, and this is going to play into the hands very much of her teammate, because now we're turning right and we're lining up for the run to the second sprint of the day at Little Gaddesden.
Yeah, and that's only 60 kilometers from the finish in Hemel Hempstead, with Lichtenberg leading. Audrey Cordon is approaching the German rider at the moment, and the peloton is out of sight.
So Cordon 24th overall at 39 seconds. It's just so close still, the race. There we are, she's 20 seconds off the pace of the German at the moment, but that is bridgeable. In fact, if they get together and start to work, that could be a very good development.
Yeah, we have seen in the previous days that the breakaway did not make it to the finish line. It was 1 kilometer, 4 kilometers, 200 meters even. So if they come together and work together, this might stand a chance today.
Well, there's so much at stake, isn't there? And the fact that the rider from Wiggle Honda is a member of that very, very strong squad, and they have at the moment the current 3rd place overall with Jolien Dore. This could help very much to the squad of Wiggle Honda.
Yeah, Claudia Lichtenberg can pick up the 3 seconds, Audrey can pick up the 2 remaining seconds, then we've got a battle for 1.
There we are, there's the line, and coming over first is going to be Lichtenberg, the German, to pick up the 3 seconds, and it'll be Cordon that will get the 2, because she's closing down rather rapidly here on Lichtenberg, but there's still 1 second available for the group behind.
Yeah, she is from the west of France, from Bretagne, from Brittany, Audrey Cordon, and the German rider is from Munich, which is in the south of the country, and they are about to join forces.
This countryside giving us some gripping action today, and there is 1 more second available for the front riders here as they've crossed the line, and we're going to confirm to you with the result who actually picked that up. There it is. Oh, so it's the Luxembourg champion Mechuras that has picked up the 1 second. Remember, she started the day in 2nd position overall, 9 seconds behind Brenneur from Germany, as we see the 15-kilometre sign to go. But on that first sprint of the day at Presswood, she picked up 3 seconds, but Brenneur picked up 2, so she'd only gained 1, and she just gained another 1 on that sprint. So she's 7 seconds now behind the yellow jersey.
But before we go to bonification seconds, we still have 2 leaders to reckon with, because they still have a gap.
Welcome back to the finishing straight here in Hemel Hempstead. This is where the race will come to an end very shortly, but we've just got time to grab a quick word with one of the men who's made this happen, whose company sponsors the event. Andy Briggs, you must be delighted with the way things have gone.
Absolutely delighted. At Aviva, we're very focused on people's financial and physical well-being, and cycling is a fantastic way for people to get fit and enjoy themselves, and the week's been excellent.
Yeah, ticks a few boxes, but you know, the basic line is the racing's been good, hasn't it? It's been a good spectacle.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Really close. Don't know who's going to win today. It's very, very close. Lots of people in it, and to see the size of the crowds all week has been absolutely outstanding. Yeah,
a lot of fantastic individual performances, high drama. But pick a moment, pick one thing that you'll take away from this week to remember.
I think the crowds. I mean, we stepped in last year to help get the first Women's Tour of Britain to happen. This year the crowds have been bigger still, lots of people watching. I just think it's fantastic to see this much support of cycling.
Okay, who's going to win the race?
It's too close to call. Whoever wins this stage, I think, will win it overall because of the 10-second benefit they basically get for winning the stage. So I think it'll be a really close finish down this straight, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Top bit of punditry. Let's go back to the commentators, Hugh Porter and Jose Bain.
Well, we've still got the leaders out front. We're in the closing stages. It's still Lichtenberg and Cordon, and I'm just wondering, are we going to see a break succeed here?
Well, let's hope so. With 4 consecutive days of breaks caught on the line, everybody wants the break to stick today.
Well, they're still working well here, and this would be a stellar performance if they could keep the peloton at bay. There we are, we're at Potten End, and that's approximately 7 kilometres from the finish.
We see Gracie Elvin working there for Emma Johansson, also Vera Kuroda working for their Finnish sprinter Lotte Lepisto, third yesterday. Those are the teams doing the work, but very importantly, Wiggles not working, Liv Plantour not working, 2 important teams not helping in the chase.
But the big teams that will need to start to whip up the pace, as you see the gap is 26 seconds, Bols Dolman, United Healthcare, Velocio SRAM, and of course Orica AIS, because they've got the players that are right up there on the GC.
Yeah, some very important sprinters as well, and the GC, which is still tied to seconds, with 3 riders still within the possibility of winning this on bonification seconds. Brennauer, of course, the leader in yellow, but also Christina Mayeres and Jolien Dore.
And you can see also near the front of the main field now, the team of Orica AIS. They are showing themselves because they have got Emma Johansson, who is 4th overall at 11 seconds, and Johansson can sprint very, very quickly as well as they sweep around this left-hander.
Emma Johansson's a very consistent rider. She's always up there in the top 10, but she didn't get a win just yet in this Women's Tour, and she wants one.
Yeah, she rode very, very strongly in the inaugural tour 12 months ago, but they're burying themselves, these two. I think that they're beginning to believe that they can do it.
Yeah, Audrey Cordon's the perfect teammate for her team, but also for the French team in Ponferrada, Spain last year when Pauline Ferrand-Prévot took the world title.
Well, Hemel Hempstead hosted the stage finish of the Tour of Britain for the men last year, and it was a thrilling finish there when Alex Dowsett and Brad Ley were ahead, and Dowsett took the yellow jersey. Now then, can these two cause an upset in the closing stages? It really is the final throw of the dice.
Most of the work at the moment is being done by the French rider Audrey Cordon, with Claudia Lichtenberg following her wheels. Lichtenberg, the lighter rider, the climber, and Audrey Cordon a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger on the flat here.
Riders from Bigler Pro Cycling near the front, 22 seconds, it's holding.
Well, they only lost 4 seconds in the last kilometres, and we are approaching the finish. Can they do this?
It would be a superb story, wouldn't it, to tidy up the Aviva Women's Tour off one of those little calming islands there, and we've got 4 more kilometres to go. Rider on the front looking back, as much as to say, well, come on, I could do with some assistance here.
Yeah, Vera Kuroda is the rider leading the peloton at the moment. She is a powerhouse. She really knows how to pace a peloton. 22 seconds does not seem like a really big gap with 4 kilometres to go, though.
But the chase needs to get fully organised now. It's Orica AIS that are starting to whip the pace up at the front, and all of a sudden you can see there's a sense of urgency creeping into the peloton.
Yeah, Liv Plantour have got a rider there in 2nd position, try to disturb the chase, as you do when you have a rider up front.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. get some teammates up there, as you say, so that it stops the consistency of the pace setting. As we're looking down the road now with 3 kilometres to go, I can't quite see the peloton coming into view.
Yeah, Liv Plantour are playing this well, but Veloggio Schramm are doing the work at the moment for their team leader, Lisa Brennauer.
And of course the sprinters are trying to save a little bit here if it does all come back together, and that is why the workhorses have got to still keep fanning the flames.
Well, it's incredible if we end up in the bunch sprint after the profile of the stage that we had today, that the sprinters will still be there.
It makes you wonder what we have got to do to split the race. They're all so evenly matched and strong, aren't they? The professional circuit, all these big teams, they ride together a lot, and that's why there's such a high standard.
Yeah, we have seen wonderful winners this week. Wiggle Honda have had a win with Jolien Dore. Boels Dolmans have had a win with Christine Majeres. And also Lisa Brennauer has won a stage already.
So Cordon out of the saddle there, just trying to inject a little more pace, and breakaway companion Lichtenberg going with her. And well, I'm almost afraid to say it, but it is beginning to look promising.
Well, afraid to say, I would encourage this. To have a breakaway, make it to the line, is a fantastic finale for this women's tour.
Well, we've panned back, and that's still a nice gap. It's a useful gap that they've got here. It only would take a moment at the head of the peloton of hesitation, with riders looking at each other and not being prepared to contribute to the pace, and that could do the trick.
No, the organisation is here now, with Boels Dolmans, with Diederiksen, with Majeres, with Megan Guarnier. They are all there. Also Kasia Pavlovska and Romy Kasper working for their team.
So Boels Dolman have seen the danger, and they have come to the front, and they're bringing their strong arms with them.
Yeah, their tour started so very well with Lizzie Armistead winning the stage but then abandoning. But then they had Majeres in yellow, so maybe they can even win it now in the end.
And of course they're going to be looking to the sprinting power of Majeres, the Luxembourg champion, if they come up and bridge. And in fact, there they are. The gains are being limited here very, very quickly. So this race now is in an angry mood.
Well, the pace is so high that we even have got splits in the peloton. People are having trouble following the wheels.
Yeah, and so it looks like the two out front are going to get swept up, but not for the moment. It is coming down, but only marginally, and they're still offering stubborn resistance.
Yeah, Audrey Cordon, she's a sports teacher next to being a professional cyclist. Lichtenberg, she studies mechanical engineering, and they are in the last kilometre, but the gap is 123 metres.
So 1 kilometre to go. It's another absolute cliffhanger, and well, I just don't know what they've got to do here to stay away. A hesitation at the front of the peloton would do it, but I can't see it happening.
I don't know about you, but I've got no nails left on my hands with these nail-biter finishes.
No, it's a good line. I'm in agreement with you there. So it looks like their freedom is about to finally evaporate, but there's still a gap, isn't it? It's still got to be bridged.
When you still have a lead, you can still win.
Yeah, so they're coming down North Ridgeway, then they're going to turn off into St John's Road before they finally line up for the run in Leighton Buzzard Road. And there we are. What is it now? 15 metres.
It's over.
Status quo. We've all reassembled, and we've got 300 metres to go to tidy up this final stage now. The American champion is right near the front there, and she's starting to show her hand.
Yeah, it's Megan Guarnier versus Lisa Brennauer at the moment.
So it's Brennauer in the yellow jersey trying to hold off the challenge of the Belgian champion, and that's Jolien Dora. And also the Luxembourg champion is up there as well, Majeres. But look on the left here, Anna Barnes is trying to find her way through. Barnes coming with a late rush here, and the gap has opened as they lunge for the line. Oh, it was so close. Did Barnes get it? Well, she's indicating that she got it on the line and snatched victory then from the Belgian champion, Jolien Dora. I'd like to have another look at that.
Yeah, where did Hannah Barnes come from? You know, riders are always sure if they win. She's there on the right-hand side, now on the wheel of Frapporti, then overtaking Brennauer, then going towards Jolien Dore, and she takes it on the line. Fantastic sprinting here by Hannah Barnes.
And she got a lead out a little bit earlier on from her teammate, Alexis Ryan, which certainly helped her. There we go. The celebrations are unfolding. And there is the winner then of the Aviva Tour, Lisa Brennauer. And she is celebrating. A great result for Hannah Barnes. She pips Jolien Dore and Simona Frapporti with Lisa Brennauer finishing fourth and Christine Majeres in fifth place.
I'm really pleased. It's probably the biggest win in my career. And no, yesterday we drove the finish. We drove the last 10k, and I knew I'm good when it's just a long straight road. So no, I was really happy. I was probably got a little bit boxed in, and I thought I'd thrown it away, but it kind of opened up in front of me, and no, it was great.
Despite Jolene Dora picking up 6 bonus seconds for finishing runner-up on the stage, Lisa Brennauer hung on to the yellow jersey. Her margin of victory was 6 seconds over the Belgian rider, with Christine Majoris finishing third at 7 seconds. Emma Johansson was fourth, just 1 second ahead of Hannah Barnes in fifth. So Lisa Brennauer of Germany is the winner of the 2015 Aviva Women's Tour.
I mean, winning a stage race is something very special, always, and I've only won the Energy Watt so far, and this is my second stage race win, so I'm really happy, and this is a great tour. It is a big event in women's cycling calendar, so it plays a really big role, and so this is a very, very great victory for me.
And Brennauer was back on the podium to receive the Chain Reaction Cycles Points jersey. After a great battle with Elise Delzenne, Melissa Hoskins claimed victory in the Strava Queen of the Mountains competition.
I won't lie, I'm pretty stoked. It almost brought a tear to the eye, and I got to thank the team so much. And it's been a fantastic week, and a massive thanks to all the sponsors and everyone that's come out to support us, because it's a very, very special little win.
Not only did Hannah Barnes win the stage, but she also won the Best Young Rider classification, and she finished as the best placed British rider.
And so, regrettably, that's it. No more racing tomorrow, it's all over. But what a fantastic win by Hannah Barnes. And indeed, the overall win goes to Lisa Brennauer. A great ride from her, because she had it all to do today. So much defending she had to do, because everyone else was so aggressive. It was a difficult, unpredictable race again today, wasn't it?
Yeah, there were a lot of attacks during the race, and I think it was hard to control. But in a way, yeah, they managed to get it to stay together and to get it to a bunch sprint here. Yeah,
you came over the finishing line when you'd seen the end of the race, and you said to me, bunch sprint? How did that happen? Because we really didn't expect it today, did we?
No. And I did a part of the race, and it was very, very hard. So the climbs were tough. And I didn't expect such a big bunch coming in. But yeah, well, that's bike racing.
Yeah, and a great win for Hannah Barnes, because we had her down as a winner yesterday on a flat course. She shouldn't have won today. That's not her style of racing, is it? But what a result.
Yeah, but she's a very good rider, and she got more complete as a rider, so she got over the hills really well, and it's fantastic for her to win on her home soil, of course.
Yeah, and it's quite correct, isn't it, that Lisa Brennauer won the race. Overall, she's been the strongest, so that's a fair result, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. She was always up in the mix for the sprints, and well, of course, it's a very good rider. She's a world champion time trial, and here she showed she's very strong and very fast at the line as well.
Now, a lot of the riders, when I spoke to them, who won things, whether it's jerseys or stages, have said this is one of the most important rides of my career. This race has got status. Where do you see it going in 2 or 3 years?
Oh, it's already really big. In the women's calendar, it's one of the biggest stage races we have, one of the biggest races overall. Yeah, it's a great addition to our calendar, and for sure next year the riders want to come back and go for the win again.
Including you?
I hope so.
Pick out one memory. What would you take away from this week?
Oh, it has been fantastic racing every day, and we had some fantastic breakaways that made it so close to the finish. And if I look back at yesterday's stage, that the break of Sabrina Stultjes and Elisa Longo-Borghini made it to 200 meters to the line, there was a thrilling stage.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Many thanks for joining us this week. It's been really interesting working with you, Marianne. I hope for your sake you're back on the race next year and not working alongside me. But in the meantime, thanks for all your hard work. The 2015 Aviva Women's Tour is over. 2014 it was won by Marianne Vos, 2015 by Lisa Brennauer. But congratulations to each and every rider who've made this week's racing so thrilling.